So I wanted to sort of create an awareness that despite the constraints of wearing a suit, if I can run a full marathon, which is 42 kilometers, you can take out some time from your busy schedule and start taking care of your health. Physically, more than 3-4 lakh people saw me doing that act. It came in Times of India, and on LinkedIn, people seem to love it. It had reached to, I think, at that time, about 10 million people on various social media platforms. My dad, who was in the army, he started teaching me about fitness, and he taught me 3 basic rules of fitness. What Indian Army follows, that axis of immediate gratification which is there through all your food aggregation platforms. Today, if you want to eat something which you're just craving, you saw something on your social media platform, that can be summoned to you in less than 20 to 30 minutes. The moment you see an advertisement, you feel like, I should drink, I should eat this, I should have that, and that can be bought to you in 20 to 30 minutes. I mean, where is the control? I can bet on it that anyone in the age group of 13 to 25 would have spent at least 10 to 12 hours on your phone, and anyone beyond that, 25 to 45, would have spent at least 5 to 6 hours on your phone screens. People are attached to that one thing, one job, one desk, one designation, one role, one increment, so much that all your energies as a human being are going only in that direction. Just this 2% investment towards your health, towards your fitness, with this 250 fitness rule, anyone who's watching can become the best, the fittest version of themselves.
Welcome to Tech Beans. Today on our podcast, we're thrilled to welcome a guest who blends professional brilliance and superior endurance, Nishant Bhardwaj. Nishant is a seasoned marketing and digital business leader and has an incredible track record of building and scaling brands from the scratch. With over 15 years of experience, Nishant has led and scaled many products across Fortune 500 companies and startups. But Nishant's journey doesn't stop at his professional success. As an Ironman athlete and fitness enthusiast, he believes fitness is the ultimate key to unlock human potential and has run over 300 plus marathons. He's the first Indian to run a full marathon in a business suit. Yes, that's right. And he has amassed over 100 million views on his fitness content across social platforms. Get ready to dive into the mind of someone who conquers life and work with unmatched energy. Welcome, Nishant, to the podcast. Great to have you here today with us.
Thank you so much, Pavleen. I think you guys are doing incredible work. I saw some of the guests lineup which were there in the previous episodes. It feels great to be following up some of those guests. They are leaders in their own technology and their own fields. So happy to be here, happy to share my 2 bits about a few things that we'll discuss.
Great. So Nishant, let's start right off.
Yeah.
So you are firstly the first Indian to run a full marathon in a suit.
Yeah.
So what inspired this unique achievement, and what was the message you were trying to convey with this?
Sure. So marathon in suit means running 42 kilometers in this attire. So running 42 kilometers in the heat of Mumbai. I got this idea in January 2020. I thought हर किसी के पास, especially working professionals के पास बहुत ज़्यादा excuses होते हैं. They have lot of time constraints. Nobody is taking care of their health. So I wanted to sort of create an awareness that despite the constraints of wearing a suit, if I can run a full marathon, which is 42 kilometers, you can take out some time from your busy schedule and start taking care of your health. So that was the message. I think it was well received. Physically, more than 3-4 lakh people saw me doing that act. It came in Times of India, and on LinkedIn, people seemed to love it. It had reached to, I think, at that time, about 10 million people on various social media platforms. So I was happy that, going through that hardship of running a full marathon in 4 hours, 40 minutes, but I could touch so many lives with this one act. So that was the real proof of the pudding for me.
Great, super inspiring. So, Nishant, what ignited initially your passion for fitness, and how did you enter the Ironman competition? And also, for the benefit of the audience, if you could explain what Ironman exactly is.
So, I've been a working professional from 15 years, but I started my fitness journey 20 years ago. I think I have far more experience in fitness than being a BFSI working professional. My journey started when I passed out of 12th class. I was obese category 2. I was 113 kilos at 17 years of age, and I was just 5'7" or something that time. So my dad, who was in the army, he started teaching me about fitness, and he taught me 3 basic rules of fitness, what Indian army follows. So rule number 1 was that you have to run. So you have to start with only 5k. So go out, run first thing in the morning. Second is 3 to 4 days a week you have to lift weights. It could be body weights. Fauj mein to you do monkey ropes and climbing and do front roll, back roll, all these things. But we were fortunate enough, he was posted in Srinagar that time. So he started taking me to the gym. So thrice a week I used to go to the gym. 5 to 6 days in a week I used to run. And the third thing he taught me was about food. So he told me that no matter how much exercise you can do, but your real weight loss or body transformation can only happen if you take care of your diet. So I started measuring what I eat, and all these small changes helped me to lose 32 kilos in 1 year. And this was June 2005. By June 2006 I had already lost 25-30 kilos. I kept going. So in 16 to 18 months I lost about 32-33 kilos. Started lifting weights, everything. So that's how my journey started, and touch wood, this is 2025, started in 2005. It's been 20 years, and I feel that this has been one of the far more rewarding things I've done in my life than anything else. Yeah.
Absolutely. And how did you get into the competitions of Ironman?
All right. So I'll tell you what an Ironman is. An Ironman is considered to be the world's toughest endurance event. इसमें क्या होता है कि you have to swim in the ocean, in the sea for 3.8 kilometers. Then you have to come out of the water, quickly change, and then you have to get onto your cycle. Then you have to cycle for 180 kilometers non-stop, back to back. Once you finish 180 kilometers, then you come back, quickly change, and then you run a full marathon after that, 42 kilometers. So it's considered as world's toughest endurance event. You get a cutoff of 17 hours in 1 day. Very few Indians have done it. Right now, full Ironman, less than about 1,000 people would have done it. And there's a race called Half Ironman. So about 5,000 Half Ironman finishers, or 5 to 6,000 Half Ironman finishers would be there in the country. So it's that tough. And globally, only about a few lakh people in the world would have done an Ironman. So that's what the challenge is. How did I get into it? My dad was suffering from cancer, and it was a battle which was, doctors had not given him a lot of time. So I thought, maybe can I do something to sort of help him out and inspire him to keep going. So that's when I took up an Ironman competition. They were launching in India for the first time in 2019. And I thought, I could not swim. I did not have a cycle, but I still registered. I only used to run. So I went on and registered without knowing swimming, cycling, and then to inspire him, so that, if I can do something which I don't know, so then you can also keep fighting. So then I started going to YouTube and started learning how to swim. So I learned how to swim by watching YouTube videos. That was the story. And it took me 2 to 3 months. Every hour in the evening after office, I used to come back, sit outside the pool. And by the way, I was scared of water. I was hydrophobic, if that's the term. I could not go into the swimming pools and all, only on the shallow side like a small kid. But so I thought, let's do something challenging which inspires others. And started watching YouTube video. Office से आने के बाद 40-50 minutes YouTube पैर pool में रख के YouTube देखता था 40-50 minutes, and then I used to go and try for another 30 minutes, try to swim. So I learned swimming from zero of being, I would say in fact -100, not even zero, from -100 and started swimming, and within 3 to 4 months I could swim 2 kilometers non-stop, which is quite a significant jump. And that's how I did my first half Ironman race in Goa in 2019, and Dad kept fighting his cancer battle for the next many years. Eventually we lost him, but it was something very inspiring which I did, and that's how my Ironman journey started.
That was great.
Yeah.
But now, are you over your fear of swimming?
Yeah, absolutely.
Now you
so I'm an Ironman coach. I fell in love with the sport so much that I wanted to learn everything about it. So I went ahead and enrolled myself in the Ironman University and got my certification. Took me good 6 to 12 months to do that. And then I thought I have to share this joy of going out and doing something which is extraordinarily difficult. But if there is a method to madness, if we can create a structure and help other individuals to go out and do the same, then I think I would have done a great cause for myself and as maybe for the individuals as well. So then I started helping others as well, and I continue to do that. And yes, as a coach, I'm better be over my fear of water. And because of the privilege of being in the sport, I have traveled across 20 different countries, and I have swam in all the oceans and seas in these countries, lakes also. I think, in fact, that's the first two things that I do when I land in a country is that I will just explore the city by running across the city. I will just pick up my shoes, get into the running gear and just go for a 10-15 kilometer run across any European city or any other city that I am in. And then I try to find a lake or a seashore where you can go and take a swim. That's, you just become one with that city, one with that nature. You feel like you're not a tourist anymore, you're a traveler. Right. So that's how I like to mix my passion of triathlon and travel together.
Great.
Yeah.
Great to know that. Nishant, so we see a lot of these working professionals struggling with fitness, weight management, all of these things, sitting for long hours in front of your laptop. So many people we hear in their 20s nowadays have backaches and this ache and that ache. Like, how do you, as a working professional, focus on fitness and focus on weight management? How do you, manage your professional and your...
Excellent question. So, Pavleen, it's not just working professionals who are suffering right now. It starts at very early age of starting from teens itself, going up to 20s, 30s, 40s. Everyone is struggling with their weight management, mood management. Sleep is all over the place. Your diet is all over the place. And that is primarily because of three things. Number one is that we are not moving as much we are supposed to. So if you are in a working job, you're in an office, you're kind of sitting for 6, 7, 8 hours, and then you're traveling for another couple of hours. So 10 to 12 hours goes only in sitting. Then you get back home, then you have food and everything, Netflix and everything available to you. Then you're sitting again. So we are spending way lot of time just sitting and not moving. So that's point number one. Point number two is that access of immediate gratification which is there through all your food aggregation platforms. Today, if you want to eat something which you're just craving, you saw something on your social media platform, that can be summoned to you in less than 20 to 30 minutes. So there is absolutely no control in what we see and what we're not putting any thought. So the moment you see an advertisement, you feel like I should drink, I should eat this, I should have that, and that can be bought to you in 20 to 30 minutes. I mean, where is the control? So we are losing full control of our mental faculties to be able to make certain decisions, and we have completely given into the algorithm. That is leading to the second cause of the metabolic panel, or the diabetes, sugar, hypertension, BP, these things going up. The third thing is that by the end of the day, you feel that you've worked hard, you have traveled so much, there were tiffs in the office, there was stress from other areas of your life. You end up rewarding yourself by sleeping late, by delaying your sleep. You are in the bed, but you're still scrolling through some or the other. By the time you realize, then you already spent like 2 hours of your waking time on watching reels or ordering from outside. So you are trying to incentivize yourself by ordering from outside, by watching some videos, and delaying your sleep, because that is the only time you feel that you are in control of your life. Because this is in my control, I can sleep late. Who am I? Who is anybody to tell me what time will I sleep? So that problem of seeking control but at the expense of your sleep is causing havoc. So these three things is, I think, causing most of the issues. It's not the paucity of time. It's not the problem that we don't have time. All of us have enough time. I would recommend anyone watching this today should just pick up their phone and check the digital well-being app on your phone and check the amount of time you've spent on your phone. I can bet on it that anyone in the age group of 13 to 25 would have spent at least 10 to 12 hours on your phone, and anyone beyond that, 25 to 45, would have spent at least 5 to 6 hours of on your phone screens. And this is over and above the laptop screen and the second-hand screen exposure which you have through your TVs and whatnot. So you have enough time. It's the compartmentalization of your time which is the issue. People are not able to manage their time. We end up blaming our organizations, we end up blaming our spouses, we end up blaming our time management or the travel or the city or the constraints or resources for all our issues. But actually the answer lies within. If you can just spare 1 hour a day, 5 days a week, that's just 5 hours in the entire 7 days. Out of 168 hours, you just need 5 hours to reverse any of these metabolic disease panels that you're currently suffering. This is less than 2.5% of your entire week's time. So if you take anything back from this podcast, my recommendation is that you just need 5 hours a week for 50 weeks. That's 250 hours in the entire 365 days, which is less than 2%. Yeah? I mean, if you can take out 2% of the entire year of 2025, you can have the body you want, you can run half marathons, you can run full marathons, you can lose 15 kilos, you can reverse your diabetes, sugar, hypertension, BP, you will be able to sleep better, you will have better relationships. Just this 2% investment towards your health, towards your fitness, with this 250 fitness rule, anyone who's watching can become the best, the fittest version of themselves. Does that answer your question?
Yes. Absolutely, and barring no age, like you can be whatever age, from your teens to your 60s, 70s. 80s. You start today. Yeah.
Yes. So I'll give a longer answer to this question. What is the right age of working out? Is running good for you in your 30s, 40s, 50s? Should you lift weight if you are a woman? These are the kind of questions that are the most Googled ones. The answer to all of this is, there is no right age to lift weights. There is no wrong age to lift weights. There is no right and wrong of the age that you should start working out. I know people who are at the age of 85 and are still doing half Ironmans. I have friends, literally they are my mom's age. They are 61, 62. This lady, she's 62 and she runs 161 kilometer, 100 miler ultra marathoners. And in fact, she gets podium. She comes first in the entire women category. In fact, last year she was, I think, one of the fastest men and women in all categories put together. Wow. So if a 62-year-old lady from Pune, an ex-IT professional by the way, is living her dream through her husband, her name is Taru Mateti. She's been running for just 12 to 13 years. So at 62, she's running 161 kilometers. So if you are 35, 36, 40 or 25, you can do whatever and your body will be forgiving, you will recover faster, you will sleep better. So what is the best age to work out? It was 10 years ago. What is the next best time to work out is today in 2025. What is the next best time? I think the moment you get out of the bed and you start working out, take out some time. The rule is very simple. I call a workout when you have gone out and at least have had half of your t-shirt being wet with your sweat. If you've done that, that is a workout that you've done. You've spent around 500, 600, 700 calories. You've done some movement. Your metabolic rate would be so much better. You will sleep better. So the best age is as soon as possible, and the latest age is till the time you don't die.
Wow.
Yeah.
Great. Also, I'd like to know what, according to you, how do you define a fit person? Who is fit as per you?
Excellent question again, Pavleen. So there are many ways to measure your wellness or fitness. There is one process called BMI, where you check someone's height and weight and divide that. Is that the best way to figure out if you're fit or healthy? I would say no. All these measurements are very generalized in nature. If you have 2 or 3 or 4 different kind of tests where you're putting 7 billion people and trying to gauge if they are fit or not, I would say that is not the best measurement. The better measurement is that you should get at least one annual medical checkup done. Start with the internal fitness. You go out and get the entire metabolic panel done, vitamin analysis test done, TMT test done, color Doppler of your organs done, to see if there are any underlying issues. So anyone who's watching us today wants to start working out, first go and get your full body diagnostic test done from an authorized lab. Go check with a family physician, show your reports and see if everything is all right. That's step number 1. Step number 2 is then to go to a gym or a running group, join that particular group or that particular trainer. If they are a qualified trainer, they are ACE certified or marathon certified coaches, go and enroll with them, because they have studied the science behind human physiology, and see that they would also have experiences. So I think a fit person can be defined as a person who has enough energy to go about their day-to-day activities without getting bogged down, without having some underlying conditions which cannot be managed. So it's a very, I think I would say very generalistic term to so to say, because everyone's fitness levels could be different. There are many ways to figure out your fitness levels, but point is that before we start, we should have the baseline correct. Know what is happening inside your body, and then set goals with qualified person, achievable goals that you can put timelines to, has someone who can authenticate who you are accountable to, and then you go about pursuing those goals.
Got it.
Yeah.
And as you keep achieving those goals, you are more motivated to push yourself more.
Yeah, I mean, your goalpost. So that's the thing about fitness. Why I love fitness is you feel that today you are the fittest version of yourself, but if you keep going on that path, you will see that what I was 2 years ago, with consistency, that was nothing. That is my warm up today. So the best thing about fitness is that there is no upper ceiling. And the second best thing about fitness is that it's very intrinsic. It is your own journey. No matter how much money you have, you can be a billionaire, but you still cannot buy fitness. You can be the most fittest looking model or the most attractive person, but if you don't put in the work, it will not stay with you. You cannot pass it down as a heritage to your children. Okay. So everyone needs to go out and earn their own levels of fitness, their own levels of I would say wealth, right? So that is something which is a great equalizer about fitness. So keep going and keep setting your own goals, and you'll realize that it was never about the comparison. Why was I comparing myself to A, B, C or D, which happens quite a lot in other pursuits of your life. अगर आप पढ़ाई कर रहे हो तो you are always competing with the entire class. If you are some kind of a businessman, you are always competing with your competitors. मेरे पास इतना पैसा है, मेरे पास ये deal है, वो है. But even beauty में, अरे this person is that more beautiful, that guy is more handsome. But fitness is such a great equalizer that it's very intrinsic. It will never be a comparison with others, unless of course you are a competitive athlete, which is a different ball game altogether.
Got it. So we spoke about physical fitness.
Yep.
Nowadays there's a lot of conversation, and which is a good thing. The younger generation is more vocal about mental health as well. So what do you consider of more importance, or otherwise how do you balance the two, physical and mental wellness for yourself?
Sure. So mental well-being, I think, is a very touchy topic. People get polarized very quickly basis the opinions that they hear or read online, and different people have different ways of expressing themselves. So I will not go very deeply into that side of it, but what I have learned from the army is that your physical fitness and your mental toughness go hand in hand. The more you put yourself in challenging environments, and if you've trained for encountering such challenging environments, you become mentally strong. So it is so important for us, especially the urban population living in cities and concretes, is that we do not get outside of our concrete walls. There is no nature that is involved. Our internal immune system is not getting exposed to the elements of the outside nature. There are no challenges. There is absolutely no challenge in procuring food. There is absolutely no challenge in procuring entertainment, in working towards anything. Even getting a relationship these days, or anything for that matter, is only on click of the button. So there is absolutely no challenge in your life which makes you get out of your comfort zone physically and then mentally. Because of that overexposure of dopamine and serotonin all the 24 hours, all the time, people are becoming more dependent on external and internal stimuli. So you are, your happiness is attached to the social media likes that you get, or the hate that you might get, or the, getting love from other people. I mean, you're so dependent on everyone that you're becoming more and more fragile. And this is exactly what is happening in corporate life also. I see hundreds and thousands of my colleagues in different organizations. I've worked in a couple of industries. People are attached to that one thing, one job, one desk, one designation, one role, one increment so much that all your energies as a human being are going only in that direction. You are not coming out of that particular, there's a term in corporate lingo which is think outside of the box, which is everyone's favorite these days. But the point is that because you're so attached to the box itself, you're not able to step out. If you don't step out, if you don't learn new things, if you don't experience new things, you will not be able to bring that knowledge into your own job. And because you're living a unidirectional and dependent life, you are not being challenged. And hence, being so fragile, your mental health also takes a hit. The moment first thing happens, it's almost like a glass. One bad comment, one bad increment, one bad posting, one bad designation, one firing, one post not doing well, one person hitting you while driving, you just lose and go berserk. So it's become that fragile, right? Which is why I think there's that being solitude, being lonely at the same time is increasing the cases of mental patients, mental health coming to the forefront.
So Nishant, just like in your professional life you would face challenges, ups and downs, similarly when you're sort of training for these competitions, full marathons, you might have certain downfalls. How do you learn to deal with it?
Sure. So I feel that challenges and obstacles are the only way you make progress. Why I'm saying that is, without challenges, without obstacles, you are always in your comfort zone. So the process of trying, you will fall a few times, you will tumble, you will get injured, you will have some injuries, some sickness that you did not foresee. And that is because you are already making progress. So person who's sitting in one place will actually have no challenges or no problems whatsoever. And this happens in careers also. People who have had the most challenging assignments, people who have done different roles, different geographies, different industries, are far more equipped to lead, and they would have made far more progress in their 10, 15, 20, 30-year careers, because they would have been exposed to different environments where there were challenges, they overcame that, they had to do problem solving, they had to do resource management. Same happens in sports also. When you're running, when you're going out there, when you're working out for, let's say, 300 days in a year, which a typical athlete, recreational athlete does, you will have days of sick, falling sick, you will have days of injury. I think that you should immediately go and seek help of your mentors outside of your organization, and in your recreation journey, seek help of qualified doctors, qualified physiotherapists. Go and look at the problem, go deep dive, look at the data, what is causing it, is there some weakness in my particular neuromuscular skeletal structure, can I strengthen something? It usually stems from some kind of a weakness in the body, especially I'm talking about the recreational athlete injuries. When it comes to problems in your professional career, you did not get the rating you were looking for, you did not get the assignment that you were looking for, you did not get the account that you were looking for, usually happens because either A, something was missing in your personality, B, you did not check the right boxes in all the stakeholders' mind, C, you did not problem solve as much as it was required for that particular case. So go back, figure out what was the issue, work on the chinks on your armor, strengthen your professional side of it. And so the parallels between professional fitness life is very similar. You have to go back deep, do the RCA, as you guys call it, root cause analysis, and start working on it. Everything is solvable as long as you want to move, you want to create momentum. If you just want to sit in one place, if you feel that this injury is be all end all, ये कंपनी में ये रेटिंग्स, ये वाला असाइनमेंट नहीं मिला तो आई एम डन, आई विल नॉट वर्क हार्ड, आई विल नॉट स्विच कंपनीज, आई विल नॉट स्विच इंडस्ट्रीज, आई विल नॉट work harder to overcome this problem, then you are done. So I feel challenges and obstacles are come to those who want to make progress. So I hope that answers the question.
Yes, absolutely. So no smooth journey will
you have to have a challenging life. You need to have challenges. This is exactly the reason I told you about obesity also. The lifestyle diseases, metabolic diseases are happening because there is no challenge in life. A, you are not working out. B, you are consuming so much. So the problem is of access, and the solution lies in paucity.
Right. Got it. So also all these endurance competitions, the training and everything is so intensive. Mental resilience is something that isn't built in you. So how does the mental toughness you develop during this training help you in your professional life?
Sure. So there's a very strong, very famous saying in army which says when you bleed in training, you sweat. When you sweat in training, you bleed less in war. Let's do that again. So there's a very famous saying in the Indian army. When you sweat in training, you bleed less in war. इसका मतलब ये है कि the more you train, the less you will have casualties during war time. What that means in personal life is, the more you keep training, the more you keep showing consistency, the more you keep going out there over and over and over again and look at scenarios, do different kinds of training, you become better at it. By default, every single day, you are building one block of 1% of mental resilience. So it's not going to be a bolt of lightning कि suddenly एक motivational video देख के मैं सब कुछ मचा दूंगा. I saw one video and I will get that account now. That does not happen. It happens over long months and years of training. Every day, how do you build it? If you say that I will wake up at 6 o'clock tomorrow morning, you go ahead and wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning. The moment you do that, you tell your brain that I am more powerful than you. I told you that I will wake up, and I did. If you wake up at 6:30 or 7 o'clock, that day your lazy brain has won and you have lost. So you lose 1 point of your mental resilience. So every single day when you say that I will not have sugar and you don't have sugar, that day by default you will feel that I have won today. So when you keep building this habit, eventually it becomes a muscle. So you keep building and eventually it becomes resilience. So you have to train yourself. आप जो बोल रहे हो आप वो करके दिखाओ. The moment you do that, you win by default.
Great, that's true. Also, just taking a little sidetrack, Nishant, you've been in the BFSI industry since more than 10 years now. So I'd like to ask you this, due to all the evolving cybersecurity cyber attacks, all these things are growing as the digital era is coming forward. So how does BFSI industry, how is it better equipped to tackle it now
Sure.
and in the future?
So I'll give an analogy which is slightly different. I feel that most of these cybersecurity threat organizations who do all the spammings and the fake calls, spams and all these things, these guys operate like a startup. So there are smaller outfits, they are based out of across the country. They are the most sophisticated in when it comes to technology, catching on to the trends, catching on the loopholes in different industries and different processes and systems. So they are one of the most sophisticated and agile startups that comes to my mind. While it might take off some of the startup players, that how can you call the cyber fraudsters startups, but that's how they operate. They know exactly how the legalities, the compliance, the audit, the emotional side of the customers, the numbers, the data collection, the way you defraud people using AI and whatnot. So they have a grasp of the technology when it comes to understanding human emotions. So the way BFSI sector is trying to tackle is through getting more and more people educated about such threats. Nobody's safe. Of course, when the moment you download any app, you have given your privacy away for that 50 rupees coupon for that matter, right? So at any given time, all of us have about 60 to 70 different applications installed on our phone. So there are 70 different companies already having access to your entire life, probably more than what your own spouse would have or your own friends or family would have, right? Your wants, needs, desires, everything is accessible to all such companies. So you have to be more cautious about the kind of apps that you download, the kind of online interactions that you do, the kind of footprint that you leave, the kind of clues around your own personal life that you keep leaving, which can be a gateway to some of your passwords, all of that. So you need to figure out how to be slightly more private in social media and digital world in general. That is step number one. BFSI industry, banking industry, insurance industry, that way is doing a lot in educating the customer. Number two, there are n number of companies and suits that people are using, different organizations are using to make sure that the policies and the APIs and the guardrails are put in place quite frequently so that such attacks can be stopped. Right. So at the end of the day, I think any one of us, even people from BFSI, can be attacked. And I have some colleagues, who have fallen prey to such scams as well. But you need to figure out, how to separate your digital identity and not fall prey to such emotionally charged scams which are on your way. Sometimes it's very difficult to sort of figure it out, but your privacy is your own thing. You have to take care of it.
Absolutely. Coming back to your training, I'd like to know how is tech involved in your training, or how has it made you better over the years in terms of using, I don't know, trackers and so many other things that have come up now?
Sure. I think technology is super critical to be able to make progress. What you can measure, you can improve. If you don't have a data-driven approach towards your fitness and longevity in general, it will be difficult to perceive how you are making progress over a substantial period of time. So the only way is to be able to quantify it, to be able to reach to a certain point, that today you are here, you would want to reach to point A to point B. That can happen only through technology. So I've been using various trackers and heart rate monitors and metabolic panels. I have used continuous glucose monitoring trackers as well. I am always measuring my sleep, the heart rate variability, VO2 max, all these. So there are multiple tools that I currently use. For different workouts, different tools are being used, which I measure actually on a regular kind of too much into data, on a single day basis, 6 to 7 times I look at the data.
Okay.
That's the only way I know that, today I was here, I need to be here, 0.1% better or 1% better. So you keep measuring what you want to improve on, and it makes a lot of difference. So it's an investment. I recommend everyone who's starting out today should first of all invest in a food tracking kind of an application. Most of the apps available today are free, like Healthify, Fitter. You should lock your food just to get that awareness. Second is you should get at least a basic tracker which tells you about your sleep, number of steps that you do. It will inculcate some good habits in you, like drinking enough water, measuring your food, what is good for you, what is not good for you, are you moving enough, and how is your sleep quality. These are at least the very basic that everyone should do.
Right, got it. So Nishant, you're also coming up with your book, which we're very excited about, Marathon in a Suit.
Yeah.
So please tell us about it. What does it entail?
Sure. So I've been writing my book called Marathon in Suit, Becoming the Top 1% in Your Life and Work. It's been in the works for a year. It'll be hitting the market very soon. March, April is the time that I'm looking at. Marathon in Suit was envisaged when I started running marathon in suits. It's been about 4.5, 5 years. I've seen how the movement has changed lakhs of people's lives. I have so many people coming up and running their 5K, 10Ks, even 21Ks. I've even had a couple of people run 42 kilometers in different parts of the country and sending me photos that you were the inspiration behind running in a suit, and how it has inspired their own version of Nishant in their own organization, that it just become immediately the conversation around corporate fitness starts. So the book is around corporate fitness and how so the book has 10 steps, kind of a framework for your longevity, fitness as well as corporate life. So these are principles which you can apply in both. As our conversation has been over the last hour or so, I feel that fitness and life and longevity have a lot of parallels. So does your corporate career, because as they say, corporate career is not a sprint, it's a marathon. If you are going to work for 30 years, where you're spending 60 to 70% of your waking hours, might as well be the best version at that, while also enjoying the fruits of life through your own health and fitness. See, at the end of the day, I've spoken it earlier, the body that you have, you can be an asset to your organization, you will be an asset to the society, you will be an asset to the country and to the entire world. But the moment you fall sick, you become a liability. The medical bills balloon, you can no longer work, you can no longer become a productive member of the society, eventually becoming a liability on the medical systems and the entire system, right? So all of this lies within us. The moment we start taking care of our body, our energy levels go up. The moment we take care of our body, our enthusiasm and motivation goes up. A fit person sees far more opportunities, sees far more ideas, is far more energized. I would say a fit person is very infectious. The moment a fit person enters a room, the energy of that room goes up dramatically, because now you are amongst the most inspired people. And it's so intrinsic that, I feel that everyone should have a fitness routine where you are able to get up, do something for yourself. And by the time you finish your first workout, it's let's say 7 o'clock, 7:30, you've already won the day. आप वो दिन जीत चुके हो. उसके बाद जो होगा वो some additional victories होती जाएंगी. When you start your day through a victory, you will win by default, because you are already ahead of 99% of the people. So all the percentiles and competition that we have been doing throughout our lives, nobody taught us about fitness, nobody taught us about the importance of finance, the basics of life, right? Which everyone should know. Na finance ka pata hai, na tech ka pata hai, na fitness ka pata hai, kya khana chahiye. These are basics which we never learned. So that's the idea. That's why I want to be an educator in corporate fitness. I want people to start moving and change their lives. It'll by default increase the GDP for country. If we want to be a $10 trillion and $20 trillion and $50 trillion economy in the next 30 to 40 years, we would want fit and healthy people to contribute to the GDP of the organization. So that's the book all about. Hope it reaches more and more corporate folks, startup folks, so that they start taking care of their bodies.
Right. Truly looking forward to it.
Sure.
So, Nishant, you also are a very popular, you have had 100 million plus views in your fitness related content.
Yeah.
So, because it's a influencer era, and you know, putting the right information out there becomes so critical these days. So how do you personally manage the authenticity, the responsibility, putting out the right information? How do you keep that as a strategy for your content creation?
Yeah, excellent question. Thanks for bringing that up. So, A, there are influencers, and B, there are educators. Influencers are driven by the vanity numbers, the likes, the views, they will share the information around general niche, but feeding into the social media algorithm. And they will also keep changing the flavor of the season, right? Whatever is trending, let me make a reel, let me comment on it. So that's the category of influencer. Then second is the educator. That's where I come in. I'm a qualified coach. I have studied from Ironman University. I have been a practitioner from 20 years. So I think the knowledge that I've acquired from my own sets of experiences and follies and injuries and learning more about science, I go into the rabbit hole of each of the thing that I'm going to apply, recommend to others. I would rather apply it on myself, research for years before recommending to anyone. That's how I've been able to share that science-based approach to hundreds of thousands of people, whoever follows me on various social media platforms. So I perceive myself as an educator. I feel when you are coming from a place of teaching, from coaching, from educating, you are coming from a place of giving. I am not expecting anything in return. The likes, views, comments, all of these things matter very little to me. It is a good feedback. It helps me to improve, to be a better educator. But beyond that, I'm not looking for any validation from anyone. I'm sharing my joy, my learnings of 20 years with folks. I feel if it resonates with a few people, if I can change one life one day, my job is done. And that's how I use social media. It's a tool for me to educate far and wide rather than just being in one geography. So that's how that's been my approach from the last 6 odd years.
Great to hear that. So Nishant, we have a lot of professionals following us on TechBeans. So for anyone, whether established or just starting out their career, but since now it's 2025, the year of resolutions have just begun. So what would be your sort of top 3 tips that you give to them to start their fitness journey along with having their professional lives, careers, etc.? What would be the first top 3 that they should follow to start their journey?
Sure. So I'll share the framework that I have. I don't like to give tips because it is meaningless without action. But let me share a framework from the book itself, Marathon in Suit. If you're starting out your journey or if you've already been on your journey, step number 1 is what I called as micro sacrifices. What is micro sacrifice? Micro sacrifices, you know what a sacrifice is, right? They say that agar aapko kuch bada achieve karna hai, to you have to sacrifice, you have to make some financial, some emotional, some kind of sacrifice. I think for a normal person, micro sacrifices could be as small as not waking up at 7, but let's say waking up at 6. That means you have to sacrifice extra 30 minutes of Netflix at night. Instead of watching from 11 to 12, just finish it off at 12, 11 and go to sleep. So that's a small 30 minutes of sacrifice. What could be a second micro sacrifice? Instead of consuming 4 chapatis at night to reward yourself or ordering some extra food from outside, might as well do a micro sacrifice and have half of that. Have a portion control and just have one. Instead of ordering out, why don't you just pick up the curd available in your fridge and make something up, very small one, but have that. That's a small micro sacrifice. what it will do is it will set you up for small victories over a long period of time. Before you know it, within 7 to 14 to 21 days, you will start seeing changes in your energy levels, in your digestion, in your sleep quality. These are micro sacrifices which go a long way. Another way to look at it is called as law of aggregation of marginal gains, where you try to improve 0.1% every single day, and over a period of 1 year, you see that the rate of progress has been immense. So just keep changing small little things in your own behavior, the way, the words you use, the things that you talk to yourself. Those are micro sacrifices. Instead of telling yourself, I can't do this, I am a loser, I can't, what is happening to me, I am feeling depressed, oh my god, nobody loves me, nobody cares for me. Start telling yourself that no, I am powerful, I am better, I am feeling good. The thoughts that you keep telling yourself become your reality. Start manifesting, as they call it. So these are micro sacrifices. So that's step number 1. Number 2 is measuring what you want to do. Let's say if you want to get fit, you have to do your full body medical checkups. You should go and get yourself checked, get looked at every aspect of your body, so that you can quantify what to improve. So measuring every day will help you to improve. So that's the second step. Third and the final step, because we have 3 framework that you wanted me to share. Third is that join a qualified coach, a qualified teacher, a qualified mentor. Go under the supervision and they'll help you to navigate that journey, which would have taken, let's say, 1 year. You could navigate that in 2 months. Once you trust the coach, submit to the process. Once you know that this person is qualified and has helped hundreds of other people and has done this journey on himself or herself, then trust the coach, submit to the process. By default, you will not make 80% of the mistakes which a normal person does, all the injuries and food and other kind of mistakes that normal person does. You can just rest assured that trusting a coach and submitting to the mentor will help you to grow in your life. This is true for fitness, this is true for your professional career, and this is true for learning any new skill. So those are the 3 things which I wanted to share if you wanted to start your fitness as well as professional journey.
Great. Perfect. Thank you so much, Nishant, for being part of this. Our entire team was looking forward to having you, because so many of us are wanting to be on this fitness journey, and truly it was an inspiring conversation with you. So glad to have you here.
Thank you so much, Pavleen, for inviting me to your wonderful office. I think the team here has done some incredible work. Keep going. I would say that this is a start of a fresh new year. Every year, everyone wants to make resolutions. But instead of resolutions, this year, I would recommend that everyone should start taking care of their own body first, and then inspire at least one member in their family to change their mental and physical self. As a society, as a family, you will grow so tremendously, and by the end of the year, you will have no regrets that I had set this goal, I had set that resolution, because by default, you have made it a habit. So we have to move from resolutions to goal setting to a habit. The moment it becomes your habit, you will start winning in your professional life as well as your personal life. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.